So with the Downslink Ultra just a week away, this week I'm thinking about my aims and my overall tactics for the race. It's going to be 38 miles, 60 kilometers, the longest I've run so far. It's not been an easy week in terms of training, so it's been quite a drag this week. A lot of ebb and flow, ups and downs, mainly downs, low motivation, low energy. And there's been lots of times this week where I've wondered whether I'll be able to do the Ultra next week. It started off this week with a 30-minute run, and that was a real drag. Very difficult to motivate myself for that. Things have got better though this week, and there have been some running highlights. So my second run of the week, I went out for about 10k, and that was with Jay, who runs the Ultra Distance Runners channel. In fact, I'll post up the link below if anyone hasn't come across that before. It's a really good little channel. Jay puts up videos of his marathons, his ultras, and films races in general, so even the ones that he's not taking part in. And he's actually this weekend filming the marathon up at Loch Ness in Scotland. So yeah, I'll post his link below. Do check out his channel. But I met up with him for the first time earlier this week, and then we had a run along Brighton seafront as the sun was setting, and the time passed really, really quickly. Had some good chats. So that was a real positive in terms of my running week. And then another good run on Friday. So today's Sunday. On Friday, a couple of days ago, had an evening run. That was along the Overcliff path just east of Brighton. And that was real nice. That was an hour and a half, about 10 miles in total. So that felt a bit more of a confidence booster. I was, starting to think to myself, no, actually, I probably can do this Ultra next week. I know it's only 10 miles and the Ultra's actually 38. But just in terms of the distance, in terms of enjoying it, feeling in the right headspace, it felt much better. And then there was yesterday. So Saturday, I did the Reigate Parkrun, so a bit of parkrun tourism for this weekend. And it's a parkrun I haven't done before. That was a really nice one. Good varied terrain, nice bit through the woods. So I actually filmed that. I didn't film my other runs this week, but I did film that. So I'll share that with you next. Here is what I got captured on the camera for the Reigate Parkrun. Parkrun, this one. Just coming through the woods at the moment. Very mixed terrain. So you've got the woods and there's grass, there's a bit of a gravel path. So yeah, really good one overall. Thank you. Thanks very much. Did that one first?
Yeah, your one first, yeah. Although it doesn't matter with the phones anymore.
Cool.
There we go, just in the bucket.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, well done. Good stuff.
So that's what I got from Reigate Parkrun. Definitely one I'd like to go back to and do again. So thinking on to next week, we're a week away from the Downslink Ultra. In fact, hopefully this time next week I will be finishing or have finished. Yeah, fingers crossed, one of the two. I'm going to set A, B, and C goals for this, like I do with every race. So kind of an absolute ideal case scenario. Then a second goal, which would be good. And then a third goal, which would be just kind of the absolute minimum of what I'd like to reach. So my A goal for next week is going to be sub 6:30. So if I could do it in sub 6.5 hours, that would be great. And I'm just basing that off the previous pacing that I've done for the only other ultra that I did back in June, and that was the Run to the Sea event, Brighton, so 50k. That had elevation, lots of elevation in it, whereas the Downslink Ultra had hardly any. So I've kind of based my pacing off that, my A goal on that one. So 6:30 would be the A goal, B goal would be sub 7, and then my C goal, which really, you know, if I think about this ultra, it's about covering the distance for me. I haven't done a distance like this before. I would be really happy if I just finish it. If I can finish it, that would be a real achievement for me. So I would be happy with my C goal, certainly. But I'm going to base my pacing off the A goal and then just see what happens. You know, I'm going to be flexible on the day, and in that kind of distance and that kind of time, you don't know what's going to happen and what you might find difficult, what you might struggle with, what issues might crop up. But I'm going to basically go with pacing for 6:30, so as if I'm doing it in 6 hours 30. And that means that I'm going to be running, well, you know, if I was running that distance and in even splits, it would be about 10 minutes something. In the first stage, however, I'm going to plan to run no mile faster than 8:30 per mile, and then try and, as I'm getting into the later stages, not run any slower than 10 minutes per mile. And that will give me a bit of leeway. The other thing I'd like to do is to try and not spend as much time stood still. So I looked back at the splits on Strava from my previous ultra, the only other ultra I've done, and I spent a total of 12 minutes stood still. That was either at aid stations, stretching, picking up water, or using the loo. So if I could get that below 10 minutes and just try and spend as little time stood still as possible, that would be good. So if I'm going through aid stations, getting my water bottles filled up, moving things around in my pack if I need to, and then, you know, even if I'm not running as soon as I get out of the aid station, just, you know, walking, power walking as fast as possible, eating things on the go. So trying to spend a little less time stood still. So the other thing that I've been trying to finalize and finesse this week has been my clothing, nutrition, and kit. So next week, I'm going to be posting up a video with a breakdown of what I'm planning on packing and taking along for the Downslink Ultra. And I'm just trying to keep it as light as possible, not take too much, but make sure I've got enough. So really striking that balance, which is difficult to do with something like this, but that's also what I've been thinking about. So that'll be my next video. And then after that, I'll be posting up my race day experience. So do subscribe if you haven't already. I've had a good number of subscribers this week. So thank you to everyone who's a new subscriber. And do consider following along if you haven't already. So have a good week all, and I'll see you soon for more on the Downslink Ultra.